bridesmaid dress, swilling beer out of the bottle. But I was convinced this deal would transform me into a sophisticated businesswoman, sort of a water into wine thing, or in this case, beer into champagne. After a week of rain, it was finally sunny, and warm enough for me to wear my favorite suit. It was pale yellow and made from the softest material. I loved how it made my eyes look hazel instead of a boring brown. I generally avoid skirts because, at only a hiccup over 5 feet, I look like a midget in them. But something about the cut of this one made my legs look longer. I even decided to wear heels. I'd just had my hair trimmed so it swung against my jawline perfectly, and after a last-minute inspection in my hall mirror for any gray hairs, I was only 32 last year, but with black hair, those suckers show up fast. I gave myself a whistle, kissed Emma goodbye, some people touch wood, I touch dog, and headed out. The only thing I had to do that day was host an open house. It would have been nice to have the day off, but the owners were anxious to sell. They were a nice German couple, and the wife baked me Bavarian chocolate cake, so I didn't mind spending a few hours to keep them happy. My boyfriend Luke was coming over for dinner after he was done working at his Italian restaurant. He'd had a late shift the night before, so I sent him a "can't wait to see you later" email. Well, first I tried to send him one of those email card things he was always sending me, but all the choices were cutesy. Kissing bunnies, kissing frogs, kissing squirrels. So I settled on a simple email. He knew I was more of a show-than-tell kind of girl, but lately I'd been so focused on the waterfront deal I hadn't shown the poor guy much of anything. God knows he deserved better. Not that he ever complained, even when I had to cancel at the last minute a couple of times. My cell phone rang while I was struggling to shove the last open house sign into my trunk without getting dirt on my suit. On the off chance it was the developer, I grabbed the phone out of my purse. "Are you at home?" "Hi to you too, Mom." "I'm just leaving for the open house."
"So you're still doing that today? Val mentioned she hadn't seen many of your signs lately."
"You were talking to Aunt Val?" Every couple of months, Mom had a fight with her sister and was never speaking to her again.
First, she invites me to lunch like she didn't completely insult me last week, but two can play that game. Then, before we've even ordered, she just has to tell me your cousin sold a waterfront listing. Can you believe Val's flying over to Vancouver tomorrow just to go shopping with her for new clothes on Robson Street? Designer clothes.
Nice one, Aunt Val. I struggled not to laugh. Good for Tamara, but she looks great in anything. I hadn't actually seen my cousin in person since she'd moved to the mainland right after high school, but Aunt Val was always emailing "just look what my amazing kids are up to now" photos.
"I told Val you have some nice things too, you're just conservative."
"Mom, I have lots of nice clothes, but I stopped myself. She was baiting me, and Mom isn't the catch-and-release type. Last thing I wanted to do was spend 10 minutes debating appropriate business attire with a woman who wears 4-inch heels and a dress to go get the mail. Sure as hell wasn't any point. Mom may be small, barely 5 feet, but I was the one always falling short. "Before I forget," I said, "can you drop off my cappuccino maker later?" She was quiet for a moment, then said,
"You want it today?"
"That's why I asked, Mom."
"Because I just invited some of the ladies in the park over for coffee tomorrow. Your timing is perfect, as usual."
"Oh, crap, sorry, Mom, but Luke's coming over, and I want to make him a cappuccino with breakfast. I thought you were going to buy one. You just wanted to try mine?"
"We were, but your stepdad and I are a little behind right now. I'll just have to call the girls this afternoon and explain."
Great. Now I felt like a jerk. "Don't worry about it. I'll get it next week or something."
"Thanks, Annie Bear."
Now I was Annie Bear. "You're welcome, but I still need it." She hung up. I groaned and shoved the phone back in my purse. The woman never let me finish a goddamn sentence if it wasn't something she wanted to hear. At the corner gas station, I stopped to grab a coffee and a couple of magazines. My mom loves trashy magazines, but I only buy them to give me something to do if no one comes into an open house. One of them had a picture of some poor missing woman on the cover. I looked at her smiling face and thought, she used to be just a girl living her life, and now everyone thinks they know all about her. The open house was a little slow. I guess most people were taking advantage of the good weather, like I should have been. About 10 minutes before it ended, I